Okay, this video is what causes high triglycerides in blood. So normal blood triglycerides are less than 150. Ideal would be to have them less than 100. Okay, so I just checked my labs. I could only find a couple of my labs. I got a bunch more labs than these. I know my cholesterol plenty of times has been less than 100, but these are the ones I could find. A total cholesterol, this is 2024. Total cholesterol 138, triglycerides 136. Total cholesterol 144, triglycerides 61. Total cholesterol 119, and triglycerides 134. And I usually would be fasting for these. I might have had something for breakfast on one of these days, probably on this day. But anyways, these are the numbers I could find, and they're pretty good. I like my total cholesterol to always be below 150. I like my triglycerides to always be below 150. Ideally, I like it when they're even lower, but what do I eat? I eat a lot of white rice, and white rice is a refined grain, but man, I think white rice is good. Just because, for example, all these Asian people eating white rice, they're all skinny. It has only 1% of calories from fat. Also, if you look at Dr. Kempner's diet, he only calorie restricted the patients trying to lose weight. He was feeding his patients tons of white rice, and in the process of being fed tons of white rice, they cured themselves of hypertension, of chronic kidney disease, of diabetes, of coronary artery disease, of congestive heart failure, of obesity, of autoimmune disease. I mean, it was like a miracle reading Kempner. After you go through conventional medicine, you see 0 patients cured of the chronic diseases. 0, none, ever. And then all of a sudden, Kempner's curing all these patients left and right. And then other doctors who use his methods, like McDougall, like Pritikin, not a doctor, but a genius, okay, like Esselstyn, they get the same results, okay? So the low-fat vegan diet is proven to work, even if you have refined grains like white rice. Now, I think there's a big difference between white rice, which has a single grain, a single ingredient, versus like white bread, where there's a whole bunch of processed food chemicals added in. What raises triglycerides? Well, excessive amounts of simple sugars will do it, like high fructose corn syrup and processed food, but excessive fruit juices will do it, and even excessive amounts of fruits, especially dried fruits. Dr. McDougall, he's got a comment on his website, drmcdougall.com. He says for some patients, they need to reduce their intake of fruits to lower their triglycerides. So that's what he says. Okay, I know a lot of people eat tons of fruits and they're really healthy. Okay, what else? Refined grains, like white bread, we talked about that. Okay, other things that do it. Now, these are other things that are all important, but people don't talk about them as much. Alcohol. So alcohol is a disaster. Really, the best amount of alcohol is none, 0, ever. Okay, maybe on a holiday, special event, but in general, alcohol is not good for you at all. Okay, obesity. The fatter the person is, that's also going to drive up their blood lipids. One of the things that gets people in a lot of trouble is these ultra-processed foods. They make them taste really good. They put lots of salt in them, high fructose corn syrup, monosodium glutamate, manufactured free glutamate, and then people overeat them. They get addicted to them and they overeat them. And that goes back to the whole pleasure trap stuff of, like Doug Lyle and Dr. Goldhamer, okay, that you can break that taste by fasting for a few days and then your taste buds reset. But if you just try to go from eating all these processed foods to eating low-fat vegan, the low-fat vegan will be too plain for you. But once you're in the habit of eating low-fat vegan, you really enjoy it, and it tastes good. Your taste buds do adjust. They do change what you respond to. Okay, diabetics have high blood lipids. Somebody who's sedentary, high blood lipids. Sleep deprivation, because excessive stress is going to increase cortisol, and that's going to drive up your blood lipids to mobilize your lipids and your blood glucose for immediate energy production, because you got to fight or flight, run to save your life for the next 30 minutes to an hour. Caffeine does the same thing. So all of these things are going to drive up your triglycerides. Okay. Thiazide diuretics will do it. Corticosteroid medications. These are just medications that can do it. Beta blockers, some estrogenic medicines, even tamoxifen, paradoxically, an anti-estrogen in a sense. Some antidepressants, some immunosuppression drugs like cyclophosphamide, tacrolimus for autoimmune disease, some HIV medicines, smoking tobacco. If a person's hypothyroid, pregnancy is normal in pregnancy, lipids go up. Some familial hyperlipidemias, they're rare. Some types of kidney failure like nephrotic syndrome. So anyways, the big issue was, what is the deal with simple sugars? And yes, they do raise blood triglycerides, but my triglycerides are still in the normal range. They're not perfect other than this 1 out of the 3 times, but they're still good. And like you said, white rice, man, it's got a proven track record. And McDougall emphasized he felt people should be eating the vast majority of their calories from starches. He even recommends people eat 90% of their calories from starch, 5% from fruits, 5% from vegetables. You know, and a lot of people like myself who exercise a lot, we like to eat a lot more fruits than that. I eat about 40% of my calories from fruits. But, you know, my energy level is fantastic. My cognition is great. I can concentrate well 12, 14 hours a day. I do it every day. I can run up and down, 50 flights of stairs pretty easy. So I'm real happy with my strength and cognition. That's kind of like what I go by, is that slacking off. And I go by my blood labs. But anyways, that was the take, because I have had some persons, asking me about what about the triglycerides. So if I come up with anything new, I will let you know. But I thought that was interesting. Hope you found it helpful.